Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot tonight on Uncuffed Monday. This is the Failure to Stop podcast channel, the #1 channel where law enforcement and first responders go to be informed and entertained 5 days a week. Tonight on Uncuffed Monday with comedian Derrell White. It's illegal to do everything in this country. Literally, the Constitution is falling apart. Whose side are you on? I don't even know whose side I'm on anymore. You can't cross the ocean without getting arrested. You can't, well, you can't rape women and not get arrested for it. You can't own guns, can't get arrested for it. I mean, everybody's getting arrested this week for everything. There's so much crime-related news that, frankly, Derrell and I don't even know where to start for this show. So let's just get to it today on Failure to Cuffed. Failure to Cuffed or Failure to Stop Uncuffed? You know which show it is.
The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on Sunday.
This is about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
It's crumbling right before us. It's absolutely wild. Have you heard this story out of New Mexico today?
No. I've been sleeping all day.
You've been sleeping
Yes,
all day?
as you can see, and for those of you who cannot see this and hear it, how about them Cowboys?
Oh, God. We're going to have to do this all
we
fucking
got to
year
talk
long.
about sports, too.
Really?
You know, sports, yes. Because
Really?
that's why I didn't get to see what you're talking about, is because I was tired of celebrating. I was tired of sending emojis and memes or whatever you want to call it, messaging, sending out.
That's why nobody likes Dallas Cowboy fans, dude.
No.
That's because every time they win, they act like they've
no,
never been there before.
But just like every time we lose, y'all act like
that's
we
because
never won
y'all
anything.
act like that.
Come
Y'all
on.
started it.
Tomatoes.
I don't even sports, and I know that.
Tomatoes.
I don't know what that means. Win in Rome.
Okay, right. Okay, but tomato. Depending on where you're from, you call it tomato. Depending on where you're from, you might call it tomato. Okay?
Sure.
It's the same thing with sports. When it's the Dallas Cowboys, you either love or hate them. And as y'all can see, I'm wearing the chain, the dog chain. Look at that chain. Man, we put a stomping. We stomped a mud hole in New York Giants' ass.
I don't sports at all. Don't really know that much about sports. But
Come
I
on,
feel
man.
like every year I hear this out of nothing but Dallas Cowboy fans. And then I hear at the end of the season how much they suck and they didn't make the playoffs.
But you know what? I'm not going to lie. There are some people in this world, in the United States, hell, in Mexico, believe it or not, when the NFL, whenever they played, started experiment going to playing in Mexico, playing in Europe and stuff like that, Cowboys in Los Angeles, the Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, those were big fans over there in different countries. They love. I mean, we're internationally known. We say we're America's team. I mean, man, I grew up a Cowboy fan since I was 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? I go back to Tony Dorsett days, when he was running the ball. Danny White was throwing the ball, it's I don't know, it's just something about that star. And then the state of Texas, I mean, I don't know.
I got to meet Michael Irvin.
Yeah.
Thought he was a basketball player.
Good guy.
Yeah, he was all right. Actually, I had really fun. He was hovering over, and this was like during the COVID time, and we were in a private suite. And Chuck Liddell was there as well as with Drinking Bros, and he was hovering over the wings thing, and eating his wings and dropping the bone back into the container.
Oh Lord!
Like nobody gave a shit. And he was like, "You want to get up on some of these?" I was like, "Yeah, you better hurry up because I ain't slowing down." And I was like, "Cool, thank you." And I just slid in there.
I would have been like, "Man." I would have probably called him a name and probably like, man, come on now. You can't do them wings like that.
Well, Chuck Liddell was like, yo, I got a surprise for you today. You said you don't know shit about sports, right? And I was like, yeah, you're right. And he's like, well, I got a surprise for you. He's like, you'll even know who this is. And I was like, cool, well, we bet, And then there's a knock at the door, and he started punching me in the arm. He's like, huh? Yeah? You know who that is? You know who that is? I was like, no, they haven't opened the door yet. And he's like, hold on. And they opened the door, and he's like, huh? You know who that is? And I was like, I have no idea who that is. And he was like, Michael fucking Irvin. I was like, yo, he looks a little short to be a basketball player. He goes, I'm going to beat your fucking ass.
Who said it?
Chuck Liddell.
Oh, he's
he was like, you know who that was. I was like, I know, honest to God, I know the name Michael Irvin.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that he was in the movie Little Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I would never have known who he is.
Yeah, he was in the new movie with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, what was the football movie? It was a remake.
Oh, the whole 9 yards.
The
last
longest yard.
The longest yard.
It was a remake.
Yeah.
It was a remake that Burt Reynolds starred in.
Michael Irvin was in that?
He was in that, yeah.
Yeah, I knew Nelly was in it.
Yeah, Nelly.
Yeah, that was a good movie. Anyway, listen, you're the definition. There was like a famous philosopher or somebody, and I'm sure Deadleg can fact check me on this before I start jumping into the news. But somebody said that when like it's getting really political, we'll just distract them with more gladiator fights or something like that. That's where you're at right now. Because right now, America is literally like all of our freedoms and rights are being stripped away, and all you care about is the Cowboy game.
Well, I put it this way.
You're embarrassed.
I put it this way.
Did you get a haircut?
Got one last week, but I had to wear my hat because it matched my outfit over the weekend.
You're such a diva.
So
Such
but
a
no,
diva.
man. I mean, you talk about rights and stuff being stripped away from you. Yeah. What's new? Rights has always been stripped.
Not
historically
this
away from people.
No,
Come
not
on.
like this. Not like this. There's never been a time in the United States of America when they came to your house and said you cannot legally, even though you have a permit and even though the law and the Constitution says you can have a gun, but for 30 days you cannot carry a gun. Whether you have a permit or not, you cannot carry a gun in New Mexico. What? That the Constitution, like there's never been a time in history
no
where
state
that
law?
played out. No, she's saying because it's a national emergency, it's a health emergency, and to stop the gun violence in New Mexico, she's going to ban carrying of firearms for 30 days. The Constitution, the Second Amendment says you shall not be infringed upon. These rights shall not be infringed upon. Right. There is a no, like it is, and she did it on a Friday so that nobody could fight with this. So she'll, at least for 2 days, she's going to get her fucking way. This is the most criminal thing I've ever thought about. Like as a former cop, right? I would always say, if you're pulled over unconstitutionally, and that rarely happens. Very rarely does a cop say, I'm going to pull you over because I don't like you.
Right.
Can it happen?
They're not going to say that.
Sure.
But does it happen? Hell yeah.
Where? Maybe in a very small town.
Man,
Georgia. You've ever pulled somebody over because you didn't like them?
No.
What happened in Georgia?
I didn't like what I saw that vehicle do.
Well,
but I did not like the person because I didn't know who was driving.
Exactly. Nobody.
I just didn't like.
Rarely know.
I didn't like the car running through that motherfucking red light.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's what I'm talking.
I go stop the car.
Like cops don't just go, oh, hey, look, there's Jay Derrell. I fucking hate Jay Derrell. I'm gonna make up some charges, right? But like sometimes cops do get it wrong. I got pulled over because they thought my gold Honda Civic was stolen.
Right.
It wasn't, but there was a Bolo for a gold Honda Civic. That's fine. I pulled over. I put it over. They said, "Do you have your license and registration?" I said, "Yeah," and I was like, "Was I speeding or something?" And I knew I was speeding.
But see, you know
and
what?
they were like, "Just let us your hand job. We'll explain everything to you." I was like, "Okay," and I handed my license. They came back and they're like, "Hey, man, listen, everything checks out."
Okay, but I'm gonna tell you the difference between what you just said, how that happened to you, and how it happened to a lot of black people.
Sure.
They pulled you over.
Yeah.
Same shit happened to me when I was 17, 18 years old. But, of course, I didn't learn what happened to me until later on, until I started going to school, taking classes, and then, finally came into law enforcement. With you being a white man, now I'm not saying this happened to everybody.
Sure.
But this is what I'm speaking,
Why don't you put your mic up so you don't have to hunch over? You're hurting my back.
For the black people.
The black people. Why did you say like a white person?
Because when you got pulled over, like you just said, they asked for my license and registration. I gave it to them, and they went, checked it out, and came back, and everything was all good. It was
I mean,
mine.
they were on edge. They were on edge.
Right, okay.
They weren't polite. They were stern.
Okay, but this is the edge they be with black men, especially black men in America. They get pulled over. Get your ass out the car. Get out the car. Get out the car. What we call a felony traffic stop.
Yeah.
That's what we call it. A felony. you black and you're not in law enforcement, they don't know that's what it's called. They just know you getting them out the fucking car
how
with their
about this?
hands up, with guns drawn and lights in their eyes shining.
How about this?
And they scared as
Did
shit.
you ever think of this? Did you ever think maybe he was like, oh, there's that golden car. Let me whip around on it. I'm going to throw my lights on before it makes that turn. And then I pull over and I put both my hands out the window. And he's like, fuck, that's a white dude. And our suspect's a black dude. And I just ran that tag. And the car's not coming back stolen. But I've already lit him up. But I don't really need to do a traffic stop because I've done that with a black person too, where I'm like, yo, there's my car, and I whip around on it, and I throw on the blue lights, and it pulls over, and I run the tag, and it doesn't come back stolen. I walk up the same way. I don't felony stop it. But if the tag comes back, if it comes back stolen, then I felony stop it.
Right.
But like I have, for instance, I pulled over a car one time for a registration violation, and while I was talking to the dude, they said, yo, Tansey, that car comes back stolen. Dave Green said it, and the car hit the gas and drove off because he heard him say it on the radio. I don't necessarily know that. I mean, I think that more cops, you really think that cops just pull the guns out because they're black? Do you really think that, or is that what the college is telling you?
Good cops. There are
Name
cops
some Raleigh
out there.
cops. Name some Raleigh cops that you have seen put their gun out on a black person on a regular basis that you were like, yo, you're just doing that because they're black.
Shit, I stood on the carpet for a couple of them.
Really?
Yes.
Who? Well, don't say their name. Don't say their name.
But
Don't say their name.
a couple of white officers in the southeast Raleigh district, the hood.
Right, but you
the
think
hood
they
of
did it
Raleigh.
because they were black or because they were bad apples?
They were bad apples.
Well, there you go. That maybe changes things.
And here's my thing again. By us being in law enforcement, being in law enforcement and working, we also know the area we're in. That's why when people southeast Raleigh is predominantly Hispanic and black.
Yeah.
So therefore, I understand when you have white officers,
Right.
who patrol that area. They got to patrol the area.
Yeah.
So it's gonna look bad if they stop a 2 or 3 cars that's full of black kids.
Yeah, because that's all there is.
That's all. You're right.
And then
That's
if you
what
go out
it
at 2
is.
o'clock in the morning, you're not finding a white person in Southeast Raleigh at 2 o'clock in the morning,
It-
unless it's a prostitute,
exactly.
a hooker.
Unless they're a prostitute or they,
Right.
maybe
Or
they're
John.
trying to cop drugs. They might
Yeah.
trying to
Oh,
get
sure,
drugs
sure,
or something
sure.
like that. But you ain't gonna see them hanging around on
No.
the street like that. But I'm just saying, it's just a lot of times it's confusing. It messes you up, and
Right.
you wonder. Not all officers. Hell, I was an officer for 17 years. It's not
but
all officers
I would
do
also
that. But
I
I've been
would
on the
also
carpet.
say that it's time of day and location that gets cops more scared of black people than anything.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're dealing with anybody at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're already kind of on edge because you're like,
Now let me ask you
it's
this.
2 in the
Now, let
morning.
me ask you this.
It's not normal.
It's not. I know some people are like, man, y'all be profiling. No,
well, I do.
sometimes I mean, yeah, you can call you can call it
Let's not
profiling.
lie. Let's not
Sometimes
lie.
we say we assume
Yeah.
because if you
Let me tell you
if
what.
you see a Latino,
Yeah.
a Latino driving a
At
truck
2 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning,
Drunk.
he's
Drunk.
swerving. He drunk.
Drunk.
You ain't gonna think, oh, he just tired or he just worked.
No.
Hell no.
No, because everyone I've ever pulled over has been like really fucking drunk.
Right. So therefore,
And Hispanics love to drink and drive because they don't
Yes.
care because they don't have a license. They have a
do
fake
that shit in their
passport.
country.
They don't give a shit.
do that shit in
and
their
it's like they
country.
know you're not going to deport them, and they know they're not going to have to go to court because you can't even figure out their name because they have 6 names: Alejandro, Mario, Enriquez, Rodriguez, Alejandro.
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
for our listeners out there, if any of y'all are any Hispanic descent, we're not shitting on.
What do you? Okay, you see a
y'all.
white girl at 2 o'clock in the morning walking down the street. Hooker.
I mean, if she in that neighborhood,
Hooker.
and she's out on the street,
Hooker.
yeah,
At 2
I'm
o'clock in the
assuming-
morning, she's
I'm
a hooker.
assuming she's out there
That's
working.
what I'm saying.
She's a
Profiling is
working
there
girl.
for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like we just wanted
It's
to.
like, damn if you do, damn if you don't.
It's like you know
what
that's
I'm
what she's
saying?
fucking doing. Why
But-
else would she be out there?
But what makes you a good officer, though? An officer
You
that-
always give them the
that
benefit of the
they
doubt.
want us to be proactive.
Yeah.
They want officers to be proactive out there. You don't want to be reactive. You don't want to sit there and answer 911 calls all the time. Because I remember one time they was like, yo, hey Jay, when you gonna get some of these calls, man? These calls holding in your area. Every time we look, you taking a motherfucker to jail. You out there serving warrants and doing this. You doing traffic, or
Yeah.
you could be doing a lot of traffic stops that lead to you taking people to jail or getting
Right.
DWIs or driving
Yeah,
while
yeah,
license
sure.
revoked, so they got outstanding warrants. But other officers get mad because they like, why you ain't answering calls on your beat and this and that, you know. Hey, I can't help that. You know, that's what I'm doing. And then, you know, you got some that profile. They were profiling people in the community.
Is it profiling? Is it profiling, or is it just indicator-based policing? Because I would argue that, you know, sometimes they would say if we were sitting at the ABC store watching cars go by on New Bern Avenue, that we were just sitting there profiling.
Right.
But you're not. You're looking at all the cars. You know, every car does the same thing when they see you.
Right.
They turn their head, they look at you, they keep going. Now, the ones that turn their head and then they deviate past that shoulder and then they turn their blinker on, guilty. It has nothing to do with their color of their skin. They're guilty. That's two indicators. Nobody else on the road looks that far back and immediately puts on their blinker. It just so happens that people who have crime going on in their life, whether it be drugs in their car or they just robbed a bank, they always stare at you, they deviate past their shoulder, and they turn their fucking blinker on, and they roll away. So it's not profiling, it's indicator-based policing. They showed me indicators, and then when you get behind them, I don't just pull them over for those two indicators, but as soon as you get behind them, they have to either smash on the brakes and turn into a driveway, or they smash on the gas pedal. It has nothing to do with the color of their skin.
Here's the problem with that. The problem is you have the bad apples that has all over the country that has done that, done the bad policing, done the profiling, done the shit so bad to where it is, you got Black Lives Matter, you have all these different organizations, the Rainbow Coalition, you know, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and even the Ben Crumb's lawyers and all these guys now.
Well, name a case that Ben Crumb's been on that wasn't bullshit.
I mean, he's been on a whole, that haven't been?
That was not bullshit. Every case, Ben Crumb, how does he even need a lawyer? Has he ever won anything besides maybe getting a quick payout? Every case he's ever been involved in has been 100% bullshit.
He was on the George Floyd stuff. I want to say he did the Ferguson case as well.
Ferguson was bullshit, though.
Yeah, I mean, but he was on it.
But it was bullshit.
A lot of that stuff, he's on it. He was on the one here in Raleigh. What's the dude? The one where our boy was on.
I have no idea.
You know.
Oh, yeah. Which was bullshit.
He was on that.
Yeah, but it was bullshit. That's my point. It's like
they don't
he's taking cases.
They don't look at it. He's taking
to
cases
make cops look like the bad guy, and he loses every time, except for the exception of George Floyd.
But it's big in the media. It's repetitive. It's big in the media. If it's a big, like you said, he's trying this through the media.
And what he does is divide the country. Because he takes a case like
Breonna
material. Taylor, or he takes a case like Ferguson, that people still generally think that those cases were bad cops, and they weren't.
But see, again,
but people don't know that.
All he's taking it is for the
publicity,
media, the publicity.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still selling your soul. And it doesn't help the black
You
community.
know, when you have them standing out there with signs and they holding. He's speaking on behalf of the family.
Sure.
All he doing is the family is the one that's pursuing it.
Right.
He is the face. He's going to come out there and put that educational, them lawyer terms or how to put his spin on it.
Yeah.
And he's getting paid. He's going to,
but
he's getting his money. He might not get money from, a certain amount from the family, but I guarantee he's getting money.
Oh, he's getting money for sure
from them.
Oh, yeah, he's getting money from probably George Soros, if I had to guess. But it doesn't make it right.
No,
like he's not doing the black community any favors.
Right.
Because what he does is he makes everybody look stupid. Because he goes out there and he does his hands up, don't shoot. He does all these things, and then, when you know that, then you come to find out 6-7 months later that none of that's real.
See, and that's my thing.
And then it's divisive, right? Because then you have guys like me that are like defending the cops when it's like I shouldn't even have to be defending the cops. If we would just let this play out like any normal case. Nobody would even have given a fuck, and there would be no divisiveness, and nobody would be even arguing about it on the interwebs.
I wouldn't have hired him if something like that happened to a family member.
Because you want somebody with a winning record.
You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, hey, is Matlock? Where being Matlock at?
Who's the guy that had OJ?
Pick up Perry Mason, damn it.
Who had OJ? Who had Casey Anthony?
I lie to you not. I would be like, have you seen the movie A Time to Kill?
Yeah, I watched it.
You finally watched it?
I did.
I would have been just like the character, Samuel L. Jackson character.
Yeah.
I would have told Matthew McConaughey, who played his lawyer, he was like, why you pick me? He said, I picked you, Jake, because you're them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not going to get judged by they said jury of my peers.
Right.
None of them. I don't know none of them.
Right.
They don't do the same type of work I do.
Right.
All of them are white. I'm black, a black man who's being judged by 12 white people and a white
Right.
judge up there. So why would I go out here and get the NAACP to argue this case? I just killed 2 white men.
Yeah.
You think they gonna get me off because of what they did? They did a horrific crime to my daughter.
Sure.
They basically her life. I mean, she,
Well,
he did
fuck
the story, and he did it. So that's why he
I
was
wouldn't
like,
have stopped
I got
there.
it.
I would have ended that whole bloodline.
I would have, I would have waited until they got one of their clan meetings.
Yeah,
and went in
everybody would have died.
I've been launching grenades and everything out there, motherfucker.
It'd be straight up ending bloodlines, dude.
I'd be like, how he get that damn law? I'd be firing them bazookas and laws and dragons and
You know how old you are when you're talking referencing firing laws?
I
Like,
know military.
nobody's firing laws since like the early 2000s, dude. Like everybody's onto the javelin.
I
I'm just
know
kidding.
it.
But I will say though, on this side of the fence, we were talking about our rights are being stripped away. I don't think it's ever been stripped away like it's being stripped away right now in Mexico and New Mexico. I would say right now, if this were to happen in North Carolina, I'm not a man who protests. I'm not a man that does. I don't care enough. I do care. Let me take that back. I care, but I'm the type of guy that's going to write the letters to the congressman. I'm going to be calling the congressman. I'm going to be making the videos. I'm not going to go march out on the street where it's dangerous and things like that, because nothing that has happened yet has really been at that level for me. Until now. If this were to happen in North Carolina, I'm not even an open carry guy. I'm a concealed carry dude.
Yeah, that's me.
But I'll tell you what, if they were to come up with some bullshit like this, I swore an oath to the Constitution and these are rights that will not be infringed upon. I would literally go and open carry, and I would protest. I would peacefully protest, and I would tell any cop to go get fucked. I have no problem doing it, because I would feel at this point that if you're a cop in New Mexico and you have taken the side of the person you know is not in the right, like there is no reasonable way that what she is doing is not against the law and against the Constitution. It is pretty firm. It is pretty blatant. It is pretty apparent. If there's ever been a time to peacefully protest, that would be the time, because I've never seen something that can't even be argued. You cannot argue that what she is doing is even remotely okay. It can't be argued.
So what are the other people in New Mexico?
I think
What
everybody's
are
like
they saying?
freaking the fuck out. I mean, it just happened just a couple hours ago.
Oh, wow.
Like it happened. No, I'm sorry. It happened on Friday. Okay. So it happened on Friday, but they had the whole weekend to go over it.
She a Republican or Democrat?
I don't even know. I think she's a Democrat. I would have to guess she's a Democrat. I don't think a Republican. Republicans are usually pretty pro 2A, Second Amendment rights. I'd have to imagine that she's Democrat. We're going to cover that on political news on Wednesday. But for the case of today, I think it is bizarre, and I think if you're a cop in New Mexico, and you listen to this show, I know we have a lot in Nevada. I don't know how many we have in New Mexico. Oh, you know what? I do have a New Mexico patch on the wall. So somebody listens to this from New Mexico. What are you guys doing about this? I'm telling you right now, if I'm a cop, if I'm a sworn law enforcement officer, no way in hell I'm touching this with a 10-foot pole. I would say keep it. I would keep it peaceful. I'm not dying for this. I'm not dying for somebody blatantly breaking the Constitution. Right. I'm not giving my life for that. I'll say, y'all, hey, you fucking want to make that rule for 30 days? You go ahead and enforce it, bitch. Daddy's not doing it. I love my kids and my wife. I'm calling in sick the next 30 days.
She living under a rock, in other words.
She's got to be. But I can't imagine the cops actually enforcing this.
Right.
We'll do some more research on it for Wednesday for sure. Crazy. But another thing, and what kind of led me to go down this rabbit hole was, there is a man in our first article tonight, Jay. This guy, I don't know. Like, if we got any Coast Guard people out there, let me know. I know we have some Coast Guard patches. So, again, that's why I like it when people send patches, because then I know where we have cops listening. This is a man from Florida who was trying to cross the Atlantic in a human-powered hamster wheel, and he was arrested by the Coast Guard, according to court documents. Reza Belushi was 70 miles off of the coast of Georgia when officers found him during a manifestly unsafe voyage. While Hurricane Franklin was headed towards the area, the Coast Guard said Wednesday in a statement on Facebook, "You're 70 miles off of the coast of the United States? Hey, Deadleg, what's international waters?"
I'll look it up real quick.
Look that up for me. It's got to be close to international waters at 70 miles. And then here's the thing is, Who the fuck's responsibility if this asshole wants to try to cross the ocean? If he wants to fucking swim across the ocean, who is it anybody's responsibility to tell him that he can't do it in the fucking ocean? Does that seem crazy?
Yeah. But, I mean...
What do you mean? Well, go ahead. Tell me, what do you mean? It's the fucking ocean. Who owns the ocean?
Nobody.
I mean, if he wants to swim across it, why would you say
the
he
whales
can't?
and sharks own that motherfucker because they don't discriminate.
So it's like, how can you jump out of an airplane?
Right.
Nobody's arresting you for jumping out of an airplane.
Shit.
I mean, I guess you can. There's probably regulations for it. I don't know. I think that's crazy. If you want to swim across the ocean, you should be able to do that. I don't understand how it's the government or the Coast Guard's responsibility to tell you that you can't swim across the ocean. If you die, you die.
I guess they're looking at...
How is it that these guys can go to the bottom of the ocean for the Titanic with no permits or anything, but this guy
billionaires.
can't? This guy can't fucking paddle his ass across the ocean.
Because they're billionaires. They paid for that. They paid for all that. I guarantee they had something in writing. They wrote some kind of contract or something before they ass got in there and left and went looking for the damn Titanic.
Deadleg, how many miles is it?
12. Looks like it's 12 nautical miles.
So this bitch makes it 70 fucking miles? How can they arrest this guy? Am I crazy in the chats today? Am I crazy out there? I know Red's in here. She'll say I'm crazy just to say it. The Coast Guard said the vessel was afloat as a result of wiring and buoys. I don't know. I'm looking at the picture here. It looks pretty badass to me. And it looks like it could probably do it. At one point, Belushi, who refused to get off the vessel, displayed 2 knives. That looks like a badass little vessel, though. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't be in it.
No, but I mean, if this guy wants to do it, he's obviously of sound mind to build something that unique. That's pretty badass. We'll put a picture of it on the Uncuffed Instagram.
You say he threatened to blow himself up?
Yeah, he had 2 knives, threatened to hurt himself if officers boarded according to... I would too. I would be like, bitch, this is my fucking boat. I'm 70 miles offshore, international waters. I should be able to do whatever I fucking want right now. I'm not illegally fishing or doing any crazy shit. I'm literally paddling my ass. This is my destiny. Who are you to tell me I can't do this?
But see, that's the thing. You have to establish... it, like you said, international waters. Whose jurisdiction is what?
I don't think
international.
I don't know.
Yeah, what's the nearest country to it? And you're right about the waters. How do they do that? So I mean, if he done reached out, he's out that far. I mean, the Coast Guard. I mean, I guess they would be the ones that we would have to question or ask to see what they say.
Damn, listen to this. It's not the first time authorities have found Belushi trying to cross the ocean on a human-powered vessel. In 2014, they found him 70 miles off of Florida in an inflatable bubble during an attempt to run around the Bermuda Triangle. This guy's a monster, dude. This is awesome. Like, what a genius thing to do if you're insane. Belushi is charged with obstruction of boarding. Court filing show he signed. See, like this, but this is government overreach. I don't think the government has any say. So you can murder a fucking baby at any, pretty much up until birth these days, but you can't fucking paddle yourself across the ocean? Dude, somebody's got to be here. Huh? Yeah,
this is
awesome.
his bubble from the last time.
Dude, if this guy, he was fined $250,000. No, he had a bond of $250,000 for what? What is his bond for? He didn't hurt anybody. It's himself. It wasn't any drugs or anything. Belushi and the public defender representing him did not immediately respond to requests for comment. My gosh, man. What in the world? It's illegal to do everything. You can't do anything these days, dude.
No.
They're taking all of our rights away. The government just is doing it all,
and
dude.
they taxing the hell out you.
I know. Like, so I'm paying my taxes right now, but the taxes I'm paying, they still make you mail in those taxes. You can't do them online, and you have to buy stamps to then put the shit in the mail to then mail it. So I'm paying my tax. I'm having to pay.
Oh yeah.
I'm having to pay. I had to get a check, which I had to pay the bank for the check. To put the check in the mail, and then I had to buy a stamp just to fucking pay these people.
That's crazy. Like they said, my dad always had my dad said, well, boy, you going to always owe somebody. You alive, you living, you going to owe somebody. Whether it's taxes up until your funeral, you're going to pay taxes when they lay you in the ground. and you buy your plot, you're gonna have to buy that land. You're
gonna be taxes on the land.
Your
Fucking
family.
crazy, dude.
I mean, you can't even give a gift away.
The fact that you pay off your house and you still have to pay the property tax.
And that's why you still giving them money off of stuff you own.
Yeah, it's yours.
Vehicle tax. They try to put it on them roads. No, all them raggedy ass roads out there, and y'all haven't fixed.
Yeah,
it
I know,
yet.
right? I'm stuck in traffic all the time.
Right, them traffic lights ain't working, but you pay. I'm paying taxes for all that.
Now, here's another guy, the former British police officers. Now, I know this is across the pond, but we've got some fans across the pond. Former British police officers admit sending racist messages about Meghan Markle and others. So, Meghan Markle, she's a political figure.
Yeah.
Now, these cops were arrested for racist text messages years after they've retired. Now, we're going to get into that story, but first, today's show is brought to you by GHOSTBED.com/Wolfpack. Sleep so good, it's scary. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for GHOSTBED. And right now, they got 40% off across the board. I'm about to make a trip down to Florida, working with @Conservative Anthony, Conservative Ant on Instagrams. We are going to be doing some shows together. I'll be meeting up with Drew Breezy, the Anti-Hero Podcast boys, Kendra, J. Rama, a bunch of Orlando PD, and some Tampa PD folks. So I am going on a week-long tour day Florida for podcasting, and I can't take my GHOSTBED with me. But you know what I can take with me? My GHOSTBED pillow. And right now, listen, 40% off those GHOSTBED pillows. People are like, man, that's $100 pillow. Nah, if you use the promo code Wolfpack, it's not $100, and it's the best night's sleep you've ever had. On top of that, the cooling sheets are incredible. The blankets, the throw blankets, are insane. The weighted little cooling blankets that they have, the toppers, are incredible. The adjustable base with all the zero gravity. Treat yourself. Everybody on this network is on a GHOSTBED. We have fans come to visit us constantly, talking about their GHOSTBEDs. We just love them so much. And right now, 40% off, 0% down, 0% financing. And that's if you have this guy paddling across the ocean credit. Also, tonight's show is brought to you by Factor Meals. FactorMeals.com. Promo code Wolfpack50. Don't eat like a peasant. Come on. Don't eat like a peasant. Eat like a real man. Get you a fucking Factor meal. You know Factor Meals. Delicious, right?
They good.
They good. And they filling?
Yeah.
2 minutes in that Walmart microwave?
Tell them they need to do some Factor soul food. And
They do. They got the fried chicken option.
Man, black people eat more than fried chicken. Shit.
What? Oh, they've got gizzards.
Chitlins. Hog maws, collard green.
Yo, those pickled, what is it? The pickled feet? The pig's pickled. Who the fuck eats those?
I don't know, man.
I've never seen
I
anybody
eat the
buy
pickled eggs. The eggs that, you never
stop.
had the eggs? Oh, man, they good.
Bro,
The eggs,
stop.
That's bar food.
Really?
Yeah, man. We be in the shooting pool.
I assure you that Factor Meals does not have pickled eggs over there, man. And then last but not least, officerprivacy.com /Wolfpack. Officerprivacy.com /Wolfpack. This is a gift that keeps on giving. Listen, if you've got a son-in-law, a daughter-in-law, if you've got somebody that's definitely in the feds or somebody that's in a cop, you don't want people knowing their address. Get them some privacy. Right now, officerprivacy.com /Wolfpack has an incredible deal going out for you. It deletes your personal information, your address, where you go to church, where you work out, in the gym. If you're in an officer-involved shooting, ask Sergeant Mattingly. Ask Kyle Rittenhouse. When these things go down, it's too late to have officerprivacy.com. They've already got your info. All right? Get Officer Privacy now before shit hits the fan. And listen, it's not going to keep you from being an influencer. It's not going to delete your social media. So what it's going to do, it's going to delete all that public information about your address and where you go to church. A good friend of mine that I stayed with while he was in his officer-involved shooting, we worked the same area. He was in officer-involved shooting, and literally they posted his house. They posted his gym. They posted his church. To this day, he has to live somewhere else. He goes to a different gym. All of these things ruined it. Even though we tried to fight the good fight with him, they could not stop the protesters even years later from showing up and trying to confront him at the gym and at the churches. It's finally easier for him to get off of the grid. Officerprivacy.com saves you from all of that mess. Go to officerprivacy.com /Wolfpack right meow. All right, let's dive back into this.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Before you go into that, somebody in the chat said, Jay, Eric's mom's food or Factor meals?
Man, fuck you for
That's what
asking.
Red said. I'm just saying what Red
Man.
said. Red in the chats asking
Do you know who
me-
Red is in the chats?
No. Who is it?
Yesh.
Who is that?
I'm not going to say her first name.
Okay. It's a female?
Yeah, she was the super tall redhead at the Southeast District.
Really?
Slightly overweight, flat chested.
Well, damn.
Yeah, big cankles. All the way.
Stop
I'm just
playing.
kidding. That's not what she looks like. at
I'm
all.
trying to picture her. What?
No,
She was in the
No,
Southeast?
she's super skinny, very tall, CrossFit, very fit.
You got to tell me offline who that is.
You know who that is?
I probably do, but you ain't
She's
giving
one of the
me-
coolest dudes at the Raleigh Police Department
Oh,
back in
damn.
the day.
But she asked me, your mom's, she's talking, she laughing. Your mom's or Factor meals?
Why do you gotta
Well-
bring up my mom again?
Well, I mean,
Red.
you should see it put a smile on my face. You know?
God, man.
But yeah, hey, in fact, I would have to try, to be honest, I would have to try a Factor's meal fried chicken meal first before I say, But right now,
With cornbread,
right now, yeah, the cornbread, yep, cornbread with gravy,
butter beans.
yeah.
I know that's soul food, dude.
Yeah,
I know soul food.
Yeah, we eat butter bean, not lima beans.
Butter beans, cornbread and butter beans.
That's it. But Red, I would have to say right now, Tansey, Eric's mom.
Somebody also in the chat says, "Did you make Eric look like a midget?" Yes. Every picture we're in, she towers over me, and so I would normally make her like squat down so we're the same height, and then have the cameraman shoot us from the thighs up so we look the same.
Oh, you
But
talking about
she's
Red?
yeah, Red. She's like 6'4" or some shit. I don't know, 6'2" maybe, 6'3". I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen her. She's tall. All right, let's get back to this as we're so rudely interrupted by Red. Former British police officers admit to sending racist messages about Meghan Markle. Were they racist or were they just shitty messages about Meghan Markle? Because I fucking hate Meghan Markle too.
It depends on what they said, though, man.
All right, here we go. London. 5 retired British police officers on Thursday admitted sending offensive and racist social media messages about Prince Harry's wife, the Duchess of Sussex. The men, which I've always said she's a gold digger. You still can't change my mind. I think she's a gold digger. I think the only reason she got her claws into Prince Harry is because she wants that money.
No,
yeah.
he wanted that ass.
Yes, he did, and she
That's what
wanted
he
that
wanted.
money.
Okay, so are you trying to say she was hoeing? Was she a prostitute?
I'll revert to Kanye.
Because you're going to pay for it regardless.
I'll revert to Kanye West on this one.
That crazy motherfucker.
She ain't looking for a broke person.
Of course
She's
not. She
looking-
was. I mean, Of course, she didn't have the stature that she have now, the clout and all that. But I mean, she was had her own bread. She was, I guess, a working actress in Hollywood.
Okay.
I'm
listen. I can see past her bullshit.
I'm just
I can see
saying.
past her bullshit.
I mean,
There's troubles in those waters right now, and I knew there would be. You just wait. Tanstradamus prediction, dude. 2 years, they won't be together. The men all in their 60s.
Oh, he ain't
listen to
going
this.
nowhere. Don't they have a child now?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I know
she had a baby. He ain't going
absolutely
nowhere. He
live in
can
Cinema.
he can go. He won't. But shit, child support.
He's the fucking
motherfucker.
prince. Well, he's not the prince anymore, I guess.
Child support. They're not exempt.
So listen to this. All of these men are in their 60s. Were arrested after a BBC investigation last year sparked an internal police inquiry. The charges say messages posted in a closed WhatsApp group referred to Harry and wife Meghan, as well as Prince William and his wife Kate, and the late Queen Elizabeth II and her late husband Prince Philip. Some also mentioned UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, former Home Secretary Priti Patel, and former Health Secretary Sajid Javed. Robert Lewis, Peter Booth, Anthony Elsom, Alan Hall, and Trevor Luton pleaded guilty at London's Westminster Magistrates Court to sending by public communication grossly offensive racist messages. All the former members of London's Metropolitan Police Department and spent time with the force's parliamentary and diplomatic protection branch, which guards politicians and diplomats. The force said none of these suspects was a police officer when they sent the messages between 20. So they were already retired when they sent the messages. A 6th former officer, Michael Chadwell, denied one count of the same charge and is due to stand trial November 6th. The others scheduled to be sentenced the same day. The biracial American actress Meghan Markle married Prince Harry, the Queen's grandson, at Windsor Castle in early 2020. They stepped away, blah, 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 blah. We all know who Meghan Markle is in Prince. Here's my point. Why is anybody anywhere in the world being arrested for what they say in a message? Racism is not against the fucking law.
They said that they just ran around it. I want to know exactly word for word.
Who cares?
What they say.
Who cares? If it's not a threat, if it's not a threat, why is it against the law?
One, about them being arrested, but who says it was a racist conversation or a racist that what they said against her was racist?
Right.
First of all, that's one thing. Two, being arrested for saying something racist is totally dumb. But then again, you're not the United States of America.
That's true. You're in Britain.
It's in whole another country. That's why it goes back to me, just like the Brittany Griner. Everybody free Brittany Griner. Fuck that bitch. Your dumb ass went over there. They're gonna making hundred thousands, millions of dollars playing a sport that fucking we all play for free out here. And you go to another country that you've been to. It's not like it was her very first time over there. Hell, you went over there with drugs. I don't give a damn if it was a blunt, a little roach, marijuana in a little nickel bag, crack, cocaine, whatever you had. It was illegal over there, and you got what you got. And you're lucky that the United States, who you talk shit about, got your ass, did the little deal, and brought your ass back to the United States.
Yeah.
I want on that boat. Hey, free Brittany Griner. She fuck her. She should not have cared. I know if I ever go, I've been overseas. We've been overseas.
Sure.
If I'm going over there, hey,
you're like triple checking.
Lotion, all that stuff. I got to be in a damn travel size. That's what I'm taking. I'm not taking a big fucking thing of Dove soap to wash my ass.
Oh, speaking of that, did you see the diarrhea, the active shitter situation?
Oh, that was nasty.
Bro, nobody called it an active shitter situation. If I was that pilot, I'd be like, yo, I'm turning this plane around for an active shitter.
You know what?
Did you see the shit up and down the aisles of that plane?
You know what I would do if I was a pilot?
What?
I would have turned that motherfucker upside down and let all
just squeeze it all out.
I'm in the cockpit. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Because they be like, hey, Captain White, they're shitting all on the floor. I'm locking the door.
Oh, for sure.
I'm gonna tell my co-pilot, lock that fucking door. There's nobody coming up in here.
This is a terrorist. This is some terrorist shit here.
They're gonna be like, man, we feel like we're in a porta potty.
I feel like comedy's dead. I was the only one to come out on the interwebs and call it an active shitter situation.
Now, what was it? It was a whole lot of people. What?
No, it was just one woman,
and she
who got up from the front of the plane to run all the way back, and she
was shitting
down the whole
spraying everybody.
Yeah,
she must didn't have no drawers on,
bro. Look at these pictures. Look at the thing right there. Pull it back up there. Look at that shit. Damn. And now there's another picture where it shows the whole length of the aisle. It's bad, dude. That is bad. But you know what? Now it proves that women shit. I didn't know women shit before then. Maybe it was a trans, because I didn't think women shit. I thought God made women not to shit. So I bet you that was a trans that shit.
Some of them be full of shit.
Probably wasn't real. I don't know. But going back to this whole thing, I cannot believe that we live in 2023 anywhere in the free world that somebody can be arrested for racist comments in a fucking text message.
Hold on. Go back to the shitty situation. She should have known she had a shit. You know what I'm saying?
You never had diarrhea?
Man, when your stomach bubble up, you feel
it comes fast.
It's gonna come, but you got to get up and carry your ass.
She tried. Shit. Well, you know what? I bet you. Here's what happened. Drew says it's a bad day to talk about planes. Why? Oh yeah. Happy 9/11.
Oh, that's right. It is.
Happy 9/11.
Yeah, I posted a question on my personal
Thank you
Facebook
for your service.
page.
Do we thank people for their service on 9/11?
No.
Do you say Happy 9/11?
No, you just don't say that.
You don't say anything.
Yeah, I just be like,
man, we just,
you know,
it's 9/11.
It's not. It wasn't. It's nothing to be happy about.
Nothing.
To me, honestly, that's just like when people
it's
say
like happy
Memorial Day.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's like a Happy Memorial Day.
Do we say Happy Memorial Day is not me
Day?
because I'm still above ground,
right?
And you saying happy to the dead, the people that gave their life,
right?
You know, I'd rather for you to thank them,
right?
You know,
it should be like a 9/11 where it's just kind of like a somber.
Yeah. But I posed a question.
Okay, what's your question?
To ask people, where were they at? Do they remember where they were at?
Hey,
what they was doing when it happened.
Who doesn't remember?
I had a lot
Well,
of
Joe
response.
Joe Biden doesn't remember.
And what's the
He
other
can't
guy?
remember
What's the-
anything. Mitch McConnell.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It was probably Mitch McConnell that shit on that airplane.
Oh,
That dude shits his pants every time he gets over there.
Remember, he paused.
Speaking of which, we're going to talk about it on Wednesday, but Biden had a pause in Vietnam giving his speech this week. Did the same thing. Did that. And they had to escort him off.
See, that's
What's
why
going
man, they
on,
got to
dude?
change the age of
It's
these
an old folks'
presidents,
home up
man.
there, dude.
They got to change the age of these presidents.
They've got
man.
to.
I say no younger than 50, between 50 and 60, because they do what? 2 terms. They can do 2 4-year terms. That's 8 years.
It's ageism.
You know, if you get out, if they get it at 60, that's 8 years, 68. If they run and win twice, 68. But I would put between 50 and 60 is the age that you should run, be able to run. Because, I mean, man, 70 and 80 years old, man, that's too old. I mean, I'm looking at them health-wise, and then still in that mindset, you got some 70 and 80-year-olds still in mindset, still living back in the 50s and 60s.
I know.
They still think
They're
it's the
still
Jim Crow.
racist, dude.
Right.
They're still racist.
Right. Well, you know, come on.
Biden's still looking at
You
you
know,
like,
you know, patting me on my head, calling me colored.
calling you boy.
Hey, come here.
Hey, boy. You here to shine my shoes?
Them old colored kids running around here. Colored kids? What is all colored? You know what I'm saying?
Dude, okay, you want to hear something funny and racist?
I'm ready.
My son, we're driving to the dentist today. You know Augie, my 8-year-old. And he's got his little speech problems. Well, he just talks funny. Because he's 8.
No,
You know what I mean?
He talk all right with me.
No, Duke talks pretty good. Augie like says like yellow. He talks, he's got his whittle. His whittle. He's got
I
his
never
like.
caught that.
Yeah.
And we talked the other day when we sat at the table eating. Me and him were just talking away. I didn't know.
So Augie goes, Dad, we were talking about Tim Pool. Because I listen to Tim Pool's podcast. I listen to a lot of podcasts, but we drive hours to skate parks.
Right.
So we're always listening to podcasts. And my one son found out that Tim Pool has his own skate park in his podcast studio.
Oh, wow.
So my son's always like, well, Dad, why don't we, when I said, we have our own skate park. It's just in the driveway. And my podcast studio is in the backyard. But so he was like, dude, Dad, can we go skate his ramps? Well, at least we could go skate it since we listen to it every day. We should go skate his spot. And I was like, yo, you can't just go skate Tim Pool's spot. Like, Tim Pool's one of the most famous podcasters ever.
Right.
You would have to be like invited. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so my 8-year-old son goes, why, Dad, is Tim Pool witch? Is he really witch? And I said, yeah. And he goes, he's probably black, isn't he? And I said, what? And he goes, well, black people are always witch. I said, what? And he's like, black people always have the nicest cars and they always have the nicest clothes, Dad. That's my 8-year-old thinks that all black people are rich.
You didn't ever have him at Southeast Raleigh, huh? You should have rode him around Southeast Raleigh.
I'm like, where do you get that from? He's like, they always have really nice
Come on,
cars.
bragging East
And
Street.
they always dress really nice. My 8-year-old just thinks black people are rich, dude. If you're really rich, you got to be black in my household.
Dang.
Dude, they must think you're a king.
Well, I drove my Scat Pack
That's right.
last week, and he
Maybe.
was like, is that your car? His eyes looked big. I'm like, yeah, haven't you seen it before?
And now you're here with that big chain on. Yeah, dude. They all think you're rich, bro.
Ask my kids. My kids, my kids, they don't think that. They think,
So, dude, if we said that in Britain, we'd go to jail right now.
yeah.
That's racist, Eric. That's racist. And you're an ageist because you're saying that you can't be president over 50 years old. So
no, I'm just saying,
fuck you too.
50, you should be president between, I say, okay, maybe 40. I'll take it down, but not go up. Between 40
I think
and
you're
60.
probably in your prime
Yeah.
at 45. You're probably the most mature.
You ready to
At
be settled.
45,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
And
you're
you've
past
seen-
all the
you've seen some
bullshit.
things. You've seen
You
some things
probably,
done
unless
that.
you're Bill Clinton, you're probably not looking for blowies in the office. You know what I mean? You're past all that at 45, 55.
And I mean, you have to think Obama is like, he's 61 years old now. So
Right.
if you think back when he,
God,
he
dude,
was-
they
he
just
was
had
in his
that whole
40s. He
Obama
was-
is gay
he was
interview.
about 47, 48.
That was crazy. I wonder if that's true or not.
But see, my thing is, I don't give a shit about that,
I
man.
know.
If he gay, and
I think it's bullshit that the media would
or
hide it.
bisexual, whatever. He got a wife and he got kids. There's a whole bunch of motherfuckers out there that's down low. on
But
the
I mean,
down
like, why
low,
wouldn't you just own that
you know?
instead of lying to the American
Well,
people?
I mean,
for
it ain't
so
really
long?
lying. It ain't really some shit just
Private.
need to be. our business. We don't need to know.
I guess.
I don't want everybody to know.
I have more
where
of a
I stick
problem
my
with him
dick
doing if the cocaine and the deviant behavior, that shows a lack of morals and a
You
lack
say-
of integrity. That's what I have a problem with.
Well,
If it's true, it might not. None of that
Right,
might be true.
right.
That guy could be
I
just
mean-
a crackhead himself.
yeah. I mean, but
Probably
it's-
was, to be honest with you.
I mean, again, I don't want everybody to know all my business. You know what I'm saying? I don't want
Bro,
everybody.
you're a stand-up
I
comedian.
don't
Everybody
want,
knows all your business.
I mean, but see, therefore, you don't know if I'm telling the truth or not. See, I can take a little something and make it into a big ass lie. I can spread it.
Yeah.
Just as long as it's funny.
Right.
I can, shit, you never know. I've had people come up to me like, man, was that true? Or did that really happen? And I'm like, ha ha, what you think? You know? But,
Dude, that sucks. I need to start lying in my comedy because I just tell the truth too much. All right.
just don't have nobody there looking like, he lying.
We got to jump into this 70s show. Actor Danny Masterson getting 30 years in life. It's 30 years to life for prison for raping of 2, possibly more women. But before we do that, listen, this is the Failure Stop Podcast Network where we deliver 5 shows a week. If you like comedy and you like true crime and you like just the banter on a Monday to get you through that Monday night, this is the show for you then. If you like true crime, we got Tuesday night. We got former police officer Kendra. She's making true crime great again by getting all the horrific stories. This week is about a woman who cut a dude's head off, maybe possibly his penis. There's some talk about her sucking dicks while she's doing it. This is a crazy case. This bitch is a psycho.
Dang.
I can't wait to hear all about it tomorrow night on True Crime Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm going to have to tune in then because I want to know, was she sucking a live man dick while she was chopping dicks off?
That's
or
what I
she
gotta
chopped
know.
the dick off and sucked the dick?
That's what I
That
need to
won't
know.
attach to the person.
Or is she sucking his dick while she's cutting his head off?
That's fucked up.
I don't know because she only gave me a hint.
I wouldn't want you to touch neither one of my heads if you're doing that.
I know. Just leave my heads
Yeah,
alone.
just leave the heads alone.
Just leave my heads
Shit.
alone.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was it. If you like political news, that's where Deadleg and I get real serious and we go through all the political news, kind of debunking all the salacious titles and trying to get down to the brass tacks. Did you have something else to talk about over the weekend other than dead babies and domestic violence? And then Thursdays we have Com Center, which is quickly becoming one of the biggest shows on the network. 1, Jonathan Bates is hilarious, and 2, Drew Breezy brings a level of experience that is unmatched in this podcasting realm. And together, even though a lot of the 911 calls are depressing and there's a lot of tragic shit, like it is so fucking entertaining to hear these guys break it all down. And then of course our breakdowns on Fridays are always at the top of the game. So 5 different shows. You don't have to listen to all 5. Whatever one suits you, or 3 or 2, or if you want all 5, we're here for you. We also have the Anti-Hero podcast on the network. And so if you want to go, it's separate. It's called Anti-Hero Podcast. It's a Delta Force operator and a police officer who are just kind of anti-heroes, man. And they just get down in the dregs of life. And they've got all sorts of stuff on their podcast. Go and check it out. And then, of course, we have Night Shift Top Secret Information. Night Shift, one word, Top Secret Information, which is a conspiracy show with Anthony Ramonde and myself. Listen, if you're a big supporter of the show, all we ask is that you hit the like button and the subscribe button on the YouTubes. But more importantly, give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That's how we deliver free shows because that's what keeps these ads coming. GHOSTBED, Officer Privacy, and factormeals.com, and as well as Manscaped. Don't forget we got Manscaped the next 3 months. So that's all because of the ratings and reviews. It's free. Help us, help first responders, keep them informed and entertained. Just take 5 seconds out of your day. Go leave us a fucking 5-star rating and review. Keep the lights on. We really, really appreciate it. All right, last story of the night. Here we go. Yeah. A judge sentenced that 70s show. Did you ever watch the 70s show?
No, that's the one with Ashton
Kutcher.
I see a little bit of it.
It was funny. It was funny. I liked it. It was all right.
It sort of remind me like the Brady Bunch, how they dressed and stuff.
I got you. Yeah, I got you.
I ain't seen no black people on it, so I really won't.
Well, there wasn't any black people in the 70s. They weren't brought to America yet.
No, we was here.
You were? Oh, you were still slaves in the 70s.
Yeah. No.
Oh, no. Juneteenth.
No.
1970.
No. See, you fucking up the date.
June 19th, 1971. No.
So
Fuck.
You don't remember the dates?
I don't have an excuse then. I don't know why there wasn't any black people on that show.
Exactly.
Well, they had Fez. He was a person of color. I don't know what he was. Maybe Indian.
Black. He wanted African American.
Why wasn't there any black people on that show?
Because we was on other shows like Martin and Living Single.
Speaking of comedies right now and not rape, Bel Air. What the fuck happened to that show?
You talking about the Prince of Bel Air?
Yeah.
They basically, this guy,
That's fucked up.
What happened was a young dude, he did
Why wouldn't they try to make it the way it was?
Well, see, because he wanted to dramatize it.
Why?
Make it a drama. And what he did was he did a skit. He did basically put together a trailer.
Okay.
And they, of course, do like everybody do. We add Will Smith and all that, and he saw it. And he liked it. He was like, "Hey, I've never seen a take on that. Let's do it." I thought it was different from the comedy.
Sure.
Because see, just like
I would have liked it to
anything-
be a movie then.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Because
you're
the
right.
series
You're right.
sucks. I tried it because I don't want to be racist. I want to try black shows.
Well, see, that's what I'm gonna do, man. It's a
That show sucks.
I'm gonna have to sit you down, and we're gonna sit there, and we're gonna watch a few black shows. I have a
Daddy
collection that I
Daycare?
need you. No, fuck a Daddy Daycare.
That's got black people in it.
right, but that ain't no.
Nutty Professor.
No, well, Nutty Professor, yeah, that's
Great
goofy.
movie
It's-
too.
It's good.
Really fucking funny.
But movies, I'm gonna show
Rush
you.
Hour.
No, I want you to see Shaft.
I've seen Shaft. He's a
Part
bad
one,
mother.
part
Watch your
two. Shaft
mouth,
go to
Shaft.
Africa. Did you see? He go to Africa. He went to
I
Africa.
think I saw Shaft goes to Africa.
Huh? It's 3 of them. You got to see Shaft.
What about
1, 2.
snakes on a plane?
Fuck that. I don't deal with snakes. I don't like, no. No. You ain't gonna have me up in no air 30, 40,000
Dude, here's some
people,
black
a whole
history
bunch
for
of
you. Let's see how black you
people
are.
don't like snakes.
Let's see how black you are real quick. A little black history. Who was the first black actor to not be the first one to die in a horror film?
Who was the first black?
Actor to not be killed first, to make it all the way to the end of a horror film.
We don't be in the horror films.
Yeah, you're always, the black person's always the first person to die in every horror film. Go watch every horror film from the 90s. If there's a black person in it, they're the first ones to die.
They must kill him in his sleep then, because he ain't gonna catch him.
You don't know who the first black actor was to survive? LL Cool J.
Oh, you talking about in Halloween? Was it Halloween?
I don't know if it was Halloween.
Yeah, that's the only that.
But he made it. He made it all the way through. That time.
He did. Oh, and he made it all the way through. He was a cook on a shark movie. It was a movie out in the
Yeah,
sea.
that's the one. That's the one I'm
okay.
talking about.
Okay, yeah.
That's
'cause
the one I'm talking
The
about.
first one that died in that damn movie was Samuel L. Jackson. Shark came up out that motherfucking water and snatched his ass up.
Shits on a plane. Somebody says, "Oh, Soul Plane. Was Soul Plane any good? I never saw it."
Soul Plane is a classic, but a lot of people said it was his worst movie. It was
How about this one?
a bullshit movie, but it was good.
Another all-black film, Roots.
Roots. That is a
Great
history.
movie.
It's a great movie. It's history.
They don't play it anymore, though.
Family, huh?
They used to play that for Black History Month. They used to play it like 30 days solid.
Oh yeah,
Every day. They
Yeah.
don't play it anymore.
I mean, they have other.
Most
slave
kids have
movies.
never seen it.
I be honest with you.
Roots was the best.
I
though.
don't like. I mean, Django to me was the funniest motherfucking movie.
Stop.
That's the funniest slave
Bro.
movie ever. See me, I mean, I like Blazing Saddles.
That was funny.
You know, Blazing Saddles is a instant classic.
Oh, that's a great movie.
You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
What
What about what was it? Amistad?
Amistad was good. Yeah.
I didn't like that one as good as Roots though.
Nah, Roots was based on Alex Haley's family. That you
Right.
know,
Wasn't
it was based
Oprah
off
in
his-
that?
No.
Oh, Whoopi
She was in
Goldberg.
The Color Purple.
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg though was in Roots.
Nah.
Yeah, she was a little girl
When?
in Roots.
I don't remember.
Josh, look that up.
Whoopi Goldberg on in no damn Roots.
I think she was.
Her very first movie was Color Purple, man.
Whoopi's
Yes.
or Oprah?
Whoopi.
Then Oprah was in Roots.
Oprah was.
Well, both of them were in Roots.
They was
No,
both
Josh,
in the Color Purple.
who was in Roots? Where are you, Josh?
I'm googling it right now.
Google it faster because I'm mad right now. And I'm just kidding.
She was man.
I'm telling you, I know my
she
roots,
was-
dog.
She was. You don't know that root.
I know some Kente Kunte.
No, you don't.
I arrested a dude one time that just called me Kente Kunte like over and over again. I was like, you know that he was the good guy in the movie, right? Like, I'm not sure why you're calling me Kente Kunte. Who was it? Somebody tell me I'm right. And Sister Act was a good movie.
Maya Angelou was in it.
Yep.
In
All right.
Roots.
Was Oprah in it?
I'm not seeing Oprah.
Damn it.
No,
What about Whoopi Goldberg?
No, Whoopi wasn't in it. I told you her first movie was The Color Purple. 1985. Steven Spielberg did the movie.
Oh, God. Well, at least I knew LL Cool J facts. Proud of me?
Did your mic go out?
No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah?
Dead leg, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I got you.
Okay, now I can hear him.
You can't hear me?
Oh, now I can hear you.
Oh,
It actually went out.
did it really?
Yeah.
It didn't like that. I didn't know
Covered
my.
all that shit. Yeah. You talking?
Oh,
to it,
somebody
you talking
says
to it.
Blazing Saddles was the first movie to use the N-word. No, there's no way.
That I don't know. I don't know.
No,
I would
that
have to,
can't
I would
be
have to look that one up.
That can't be the first.
But John Amos, Louis Gossett Jr., LeVar Burton, the one that played in I mean, come on. Those three names right there were great black actors. John Amos played he played that, and he played the father on Good Times, and you got LeVar Burton, who played
Star Trek.
He was on Star Trek.
Reading
And
Rainbow.
then, come on, you got Louis Gossett Jr. was.
See, dude, I'm not racist.
He was.
I know who LeVar Burton is.
What is it? Something in a Gentleman. It was the Air Force.
Officer and a Gentleman.
Officer and a Gentleman. Yep. He got an.
Danny Glover?
That's what. He
Danny
got a-
Glover.
Danny Glover.
Oh, he was in Predator.
Yep.
Too.
Yep. But he was
Lawrence
in The
Fishburne.
Color Purple. You haven't seen The Color Purple?
I don't think so.
You don't have to see.
What's that one
That's
about?
another black movie that was actually directed by a white guy, by Steven Spielberg. That was one of his biggest movies back in the 80s.
You know what else was directed by Steven Spielberg that was really great? What was the one with the it'll come to me. They're like I can't remember the name of the movie now. Fuck.
But you know what? I'm working on a film. We're working on a film.
Oh, really?
Yep. I was talking to my boy. He's the writer, co-writer, director of it, and we getting our casting and stuff. Who should play what?
Yeah.
So I got to look and see who all the characters he got. Go over it. So, oh yeah.
Well, I've got speaking of all those things. Oh yeah, you know who wrote what other movie Steven Spielberg did that was an all black movie? Friday.
Huh? Now, Steve, it might have been on. He might have wrote. He
Just
might have wrote a movie on Friday, but he damn it sure didn't write the movie Friday.
I've seen Friday.
Have you seen Friday?
I love Friday.
You seen all of them?
Yeah. No. Oh, Friday After Next? Yeah. If that's all of them, I want to see
Which
that
one?
too.
You seen the one where his father, where Day, Mike Epps, his dad. I met both of them guys.
No
man.
way.
I met both of them.
Dude.
John Witherspoon bought me a drink after a show.
No
And
way.
we laughed and joked. He was a great guy. Rest in peace. John Witherspoon and DC Curry played Uncle Elroy. He was hilarious. And I actually worked with Samore, the one that played his girlfriend
That
in
show
part 2.
is so funny, dude. Ice
Yeah.
Cube was the
Yeah,
shit.
it was funny.
And Chris Tucker.
fired on your day off, Craig? Bernie Mac was in Friday, the original Friday.
Dude, everybody. There was a lot of dudes like, what was that? Tom Lister, the dude with the crazy eye.
Yeah, Sonny Liston.
Yeah.
Microphone went out again.
Tiny Zeus. Mine did.
Mine too. I can't hear us.
You can't.
Mm-mm.
That's just got to be something else.
Okay, can you hear? Nope.
Now
you back on.
All right. I don't. It's, somebody's probably messing with something here. All right. Here we go. Let's finish this last story up here and get the fuck out of here for the night. Danny Masterson though was sentenced to 30 years for rape. This is all going back to that Scientology. Oh man, everything is going bonkers right now on the interwebs here. When you raped me, you stole from me, said one woman who Masterson was convicted of raping in 2003. Is from AP. That's what rape is, a theft of the spirit. You are a pathetic, disturbed, and completely violent, she said. The world is a better place with you in prison. Damn. Los Angeles Superior Court Judge Charlene Almedo handed down the sentence to the 47-year-old Masterson after hearing statements from the woman and pleas for fairness from defense attorneys. The actor, who has been in custody since May, sat in the court wearing a suit. Masterson watched the women without visible reaction as they spoke. He maintains his innocence, and his attorney plea to plead guilty. Now, the weird thing about this case was, and of course, we don't get to hear all the evidence, I'm guessing, but there, is what a lot of people are saying is that a lot of this was hearsay and that it's going off of these women's things because there is no evidence, no video, and no witnesses. I would like to be a fly on the wall to know what was presented that convinced a jury, because it seems like that would be a pretty hard thing to prove in court unless it was just so shitty and the women maybe had something in common. You know what I'm saying? Like, doesn't it seem... It doesn't seem like a lot of rape cases that I've ever been involved in were solved with lack of evidence or witnesses. You know what I mean? Like, just a girl saying he raped me.
Right. I mean, they convict him pretty quick. His court. You know.
There's got to be more to it, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, either that or he just didn't have enough money to afford the right lawyers to fight and drag it out or something, or get, try to, get something, to.
But this whole
mistrial
Scientology thing, that we're going to do a whole episode on failure to stop night shift, top secret information. But, the whole Scientology thing, it's pretty weird at this point. Like, there's some weird fucking wackos in there. I guess you could probably say that about a lot of churches, but I feel like the Scientology needs to be it needs to be its own episode. But that's it for us tonight, guys. Drew Breezy, who's a 30-year detective, he says a lot of cases are just he said, she says. I get it, man. That's scary, man. Getting life in prison, when you're a high-profile actor who, but here, what happens? You know how you don't get charged with rape or have crazy shit? Like, don't be promiscuous with a whole bunch of women.
Right. Well, see, it goes back to my question about the president. Have we ever, in the history of president, from George Washington to now, have any of them been single while they were in office?
No, they've all been married.
All been married. So
sure. I think it's a requirement.
So when Clinton got his dick sucked in the White House,
and he stuck a cigar in her pussy. Don't forget that.
I mean,
and it was all in the Oval Office. I mean, that dude crossed a lot of lines.
Right. So that was like
it wasn't just getting his dick sucked. Like, he was getting his dick sucked by an unpaid intern. It wasn't just getting his dick sucked and it being by an unpaid intern. It was getting his dick sucked by an unpaid intern in the Oval Office. And it wasn't just getting his dick sucked by an unpaid intern in the Oval Office. It was getting his dick sucked by an unpaid intern in the Oval Office, and then jizzing on her fucking dress, and then letting her take it home, and then putting a cigar in her pussy, and then lying about it under oath. I mean, there was so much that went into that.
He should have burnt the damn dress.
How about just not fucking blow your shit on her dress?
I'll buy you another dress.
You know how I got my wife pregnant with my third child? We were fucking in a bathroom at a wedding. Damn. Well, we don't fuck, we make love.
Right.
We were making love, and it was a single bathroom, and it was obnoxious because it was a very classy wedding, very high-end wedding. Huh?
Was you drunk?
Yeah, I was probably 2 Manhattans in. I was feeling good. And we're in this bathroom, and the bathroom was very long. It was a very long, it had a toilet, no urinal. It had a toilet, and then it had a sink and a mirror, and then it had a crystal chandelier in the middle. A very long bathroom, but just one stall bathroom. And the floors were marble, and so she was leaning up against the sink, doing a little doggy style. She was wearing an all black dress, beautiful dress. And I was like, I don't want to come on the floor because that's a marble floor,
right? And
then somebody's gonna slip on it. That would be rude. But I don't want to blow my shit on her dress either because it's a black dress, and that would be rude.
So you just left it in.
So I just didn't pull out, thinking, what are the chances? And that's how I had my third child.
Damn.
In that bathroom. So, but what I'm saying is like, why put it on her? Why put it on her dress? I don't know. Like, why do it in the Oval Office? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You gotta have a little bit. You got to have a little bit of discipline. You're the president of the fucking United States. Act like it.
Right. But see, that's what I'm saying.
You can't act like a piece of shit.
That's why I said, like you said, we was talking about is it a requirement for them to be married? Because
pretty sure
that's why I said, if we change the rules on presidency, age, and all that, you can't. You're right. You cannot put a single president in the White House because he's gonna have parties.
Oh, he's gonna lay pipe everywhere.
He's gonna be
for sure.
Everybody gonna throw
leader of the
their
free
ass
world,
on.
baby.
I mean, shit, that was a lot of black women. You ask a black woman, middle-aged black woman, if they would give Barack some pussy when he was in they'd be like, as long as Michelle didn't find out.
All the white women would do it too because it would be a virtue signal. They would be like, well, I'm not racist, of course.
Right. But see, he would get in so much trouble. He would,
I mean, to be the president of the United States, you should have the discipline, you should have the maturity, you should have the wherewithal to not be a fucking dirtbag like everybody else. You should be a little bit better than everyone else. You're the leader of the free world. You should act like it.
That's
you should set the example for others Twitter's to follow.
But see,
I've said that about Trump. I'll say it about everybody. I'll
but
say
I'm
it
gonna
about
tell you like this though.
all of
Another
them.
reason why he couldn't, a sitting president could not be single, and you have women throwing pussy at him all day. If he's saying no, I can't do that. I have high morals. What the fuck they gonna say? You gay? You motherfucker is gay. You don't like pussy.
Stop.
That's what they gonna say.
Nobody would
That's what
say
they
that. Nobody would say
Shit.
that.
Let me be the president and they'll be like, hey, how you doing? I'm the president of
Is
the
that how
United
you would
States.
talk if you were the president?
Yeah.
Why don't you just talk like you normally talk?
Because you have to be professional. You have to.
That's
be,
your professional voice?
You have to be.
You don't
sound
talk like that in
educated.
court, do you?
You have to sound educated.
You sound educated regularly.
You have to sound educated. I have to enunciate.
You'll never sound educated with that stupid fucking chain on your neck.
Man, please.
Nobody will ever think that you are a smart person.
We dropped 40 points. Okay. All right. I'm gonna do it both ways.
No,
okay?
but you have to do it
I'm
in
gonna
your professional
properly,
voice.
my
Do it in your professional voice.
My Dallas Cowboys. Here the star. We won 40-0. We was playing in Giant Stadium in New York on a rainy day, a very rainy day. It was raining very heavily. Now, if I want to get ghetto with it, yeah, bitch, we won, motherfucker. Yeah, we whooped that ass. New York, you bitches, 40 points. We dropped 40 on y'all ass. Y'all had a donut. What you gonna do now, huh? Super Bowl bound. You know.
This has been another failure to stop Uncuffed Mondays with myself and the always hilarious, the always funny former police officer, now stand-up comedian, Derrell White.
All right.
Make sure you follow us on the failure to stop _ Uncuffed Instagram page. It's directly for this show. If you want to send out a shout out to somebody, we will start shout outs next week. But you have to go to failure to stop _ Uncuffed. Leave us a name to shout out, why you want us to shout that person out. It can be funny. It can be sweet. We're going to shout them out. Just put the real reason out there why. You can leave them a frosty message if you want, and we'll repeat it on air within reason. All that and more next week on the Failure to Stop Uncuffed Monday. Until then, guys.
Peace.